Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, and Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Colucci with us today from Vegas. Matt Human's giving us his picks and thoughts on the upcoming slate this weekend. Glad that you're with us today. Beautiful day here in Baton Rouge. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Good, man. Good. We don't talk a lot of NBA last night, but I snuck in a couple of picks and did okay. You know, it's one of the few parts in a regular season where you know you got a good idea of who's going to play.
The NBA Cup.
And it got a little nasty, of course, who was in the middle of it? Grayson Allen.
Yeah, he got run for shoving.
He's got a little bit of history, but the game
You lose about 58, I think. It
was about a 30-point game, and OKC said, "Oh, they just poured on. They just, bro. I mean, they beat them as bad as they possibly could.
24-1 at Oklahoma City.
Remember, the championship game does not count in the standings. Could it be?
Oh, going for 73 is what you're talking about?
If it's 73
yeah.
and that's the 74th.
Asterisk, I guess. I don't know. They're 24-1, which matches the best start over 25 games in NBA history. That Warriors team you're talking about has that same record.
24-1 to start the season?
24-1 to start the season.
It's like 14-0 to start the
something like that, yeah. They've got the best player in the league. They're the reigning MVP in the league. Mm-hmm. They've got the best roster. They've got the most draft picks. Sam Presti has done arguably the best job that any general manager has done ever. I can remember teams that had high picks by accident that were already good. The Celtics come right to mind when they had the pick that netted them Len Bias and then the tragedy. They were the reigning NBA champions with the number 2 pick in the draft that year. There have been other times where teams that were really good benefited from trades, but none on the volume of what OKC has done.
And what this is quarterfinals of this little tournament, and Phoenix is kind of a surprise story right now. It's not like they beat a team that was, beat the Pelicans last night. I mean, Suns are 14-10 before last night.
OKC's probably we can ask Colucci, but probably a little bit of a headache for the odds makers right now. Their margin of victory is 5 points higher than the highest margin of victory ever. Okay, the average margin of victory for OKC last year was the best ever. It was 12 and change, 12 points and change. They're at 7. I know we're only 25 games this year. They're at 17 points and change. But the odds makers have done a decent job. They're only 14-11 against the spread, so it's not like they're there's that big of a discrepancy. But still, you got to trigger. How high do you push it, right?
It's basically even money for them to win this tournament going into last night's game.
That's unusually, with all those teams left, how good do you have to be even money with that many teams left in the tournament?
Like minus 115.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So we've all had bad days, right? You get stuck
they're minus 230 after last night's game, by the way.
Well, they're the best team for sure. We've all had bad days, right? You get caught in traffic, your car breaks down, your kid makes a bad grade, dog turns over the garbage can, Hey, look, it happens. Yesterday for Sherrone Moore may be in the history of bad days, the ultimate bad day. Although, I got to say this right up front, all of this is of his own doing. None of this is victim, like, oh, there was nothing he could do. He brought all of this on himself.
Yeah, Charlie,
So,
the dog didn't knock it over. He knocked it over.
Right, yeah. So I don't want to make out like he is a victim, but Sherrone Moore woke up yesterday as a head coach at Michigan, and by the time the sun went down, he had lost his job, had his extramarital affair exposed to his wife and 3 daughters, if they didn't know already, and then got arrested. And, Jimmy, he's still in jail.
Yes.
This wasn't one of those things where, you get an incident, the cops are called, you get hauled downtown, you make you make bail, they release you on bail, or they release you on your own recognizance, or in a lot of cases it's just somebody sobers up, right? No. They still got him in jail over what happened. So if you missed this by now, more in a extramarital affair, which is bad enough, with a staffer. Now you've violated every term of your contract. A staffer that recently received a raise. Now we're breaking the law. Pick up here at any point.
A ridiculous raise. Over 50%.
She went from 58,000 to 90,000,
Yeah.
so not quite 50%, but a significant
no,
raise.
it's 55%.
58%. I thought she went from
It was
58,000.
it was quoted in the graphic. I see what
you're
They
saying.
showed
Yeah.
3 years, her salary, 0% raise. Salary, 0%
Okay,
raise.
50,
Salary, 55%.
58,000 and 90,000. And wow, there's so many layers to this story. Okay, first of all, the guy, screwed up beyond what any normal screw up would be. Deserved to be fired. Whatever they arrested him for, I wasn't there, but obviously pretty serious if they've still got him in jail.
Assault.
Yeah, and we the details haven't come out yet, but whatever it is, he's still there. And now the other layers to this story, Jimmy. Let's start with Ward Manuel, the AD up there.
Brother Martin boy.
This didn't start on Monday, okay? National signing date was last week, a week ago Wednesday. And if you listen to the Detroit media and now some of the other college football media, it's like these rumors have been out there for some time. I didn't hear them. I don't follow Michigan coaching affairs, all that.
Convenient reporting.
Right. But if the question becomes, what did Ward Manuel know and when did he know it? And did you put off an announcement on this on purpose until after the national signing date?
Seems that way, huh?
It certainly is convenient.
Well, he didn't get arrested before.
He did.
I mean, if he got arrested before signing day, they can't put it off till then.
You would imagine he got arrested after his reaction to finding out that he was fired. Now, for those recruits, they are released from their we don't do national letters of intent anymore, but they are released, so they will have a double chance to get out of Michigan. First in the regular transfer portal, and then whenever the new coach is hired, they have a window there. They've got a double chance to get out of it, but I understand you make the commitment. You get used to the idea for a week of being a Michigan Wolverine, and then they say, well, guess what happened with the coach? So you've got that aspect of it. Then there's the current roster, all of which are
This was one of the reasons maybe Ole Miss wanted to move before, because Lane Kiffin, if he was there when they signed on that, on the first Wednesday in December, the entire class could be released. So now, because they signed with the guy they have in place now, that's not the case. So it's a little bit of, just to paint a picture on the timeline as far as which would affect us here locally.
So what do you want to talk about first? The possibility of a replacement, or you want to talk about Bryce Underwood? I'll take them in either order you want.
Well, Bryce Underwood deleted the @UMitch football from his social media account, so people think that's he's really, who knows, I'm sure. I mean, everybody's a free agent no matter where they are.
Yeah.
But certainly people are going to attack this current roster, this recruiting class, and others. How good is he? He had less than expectation type of true freshman year, but it's a true freshman year.
What would he have to do? What would he have to do to meet expectations last year?
Get
for
him
a
to the
freshman
playoff.
Yeah, at the very least.
Win enough games to get him to a playoff.
Or beat Ohio State, I guess, up there counts for quadruple or whatever.
That would have got him in, I think.
But his numbers were not terrible for a freshman making, first start on the road was at Oklahoma.
Eyeball was pretty bad. He was not a comfortable passer.
And isn't that what we expected? A raw if he'd come to LSU, a raw prospect.
I thought that he was. His passing wasn't as suspect as it looked this year. No, I don't think he's not one of these athletes that trying to turn to. He could throw the ball. That's a very tough spot. Now, how much of the stats were when that middle to lower part of the Big Ten was atrocious. I mean, that's like playing some of these defenses almost MAC level. So how much of his numbers, wasn't good against Oklahoma? We know that. First true road start. Even so, double whammy there. I'm not going to kill him. He's still going to have a ton of suitors. And I think Saban put it best when he talked about him. He said, man, look, he's not there yet, but he's going to be good.
What would you, if he said, hey, listen, I'd like to go to LSU now. That's where I was going to go in the first place, and then Larry Ellison's girlfriend
natural.
Well, I hear too much in the last 24 hours of, I don't want him. He sucks. Well, a lot of freshman quarterbacks struggle and get better. Did you look at him and say, this kid's horribly overrated? Or did you look at him and go, this is a kid that's taking his lumps and learning on the job and is thrust in from game one of his freshman year, and he's still got a hell of a lot of upside? Because that's what I thought when I watched him.
He's got a lot of upside, and, man, I'd gladly let him go, take his lumps and, the worst part of it.
Learn on somebody else's
dime. Yes, indeed.
Now, would I put $12 million up? No.
I mean, like at McCord, they nudged him out.
McCord's a great example.
Okay, McCord, man, he put up all kinds of numbers at Syracuse. Will Howard was nudged out at Kansas State. He won a national championship.
McCord struggled through that year at Ohio State and then led the nation in passing yards at Syracuse.
Jaden Daniels get better here?
By more than just a little bit. So this idea about, no, to hell with him. That kid wants to come to
who's saying that? Because he's going to have a list a mile long as far as who would want him.
Now,
who would not take that guy?
I can't think of anybody.
Texas.
Well,
they're not going to take him for next year. He's not going to sit the bench. He's not going to sit the bench.
No, he's not going to sit the
bench.
Okay,
so he's not going to Texas. I mean, who else?
Who else absolutely wouldn't take him? I can't think of anybody that wouldn't.
If Chambliss gets another year,
he's not going to go certain. Anybody would take him. He wouldn't go certain places. He wouldn't go to Texas because of Manning, and there's probably a lot of schools that get eliminated.
Well, this is a year. Texas is not going to offer him what he wants in NIL
Correct.
For a year.
There are situations that just don't work for
Oregon.
him.
He's Duke's
Oregon. If Dante Moore
Duke's
goes
got their
back,
guy.
Yeah. Let's say 90%.
And when you
schools,
take Mensa next year over Underwood,
he's already there. He knows the system.
I'm
he had
just
a good year.
If you had, that
yes,
helps too.
I would keep Mensa. My point is, there are just about any program would take him. Okay, there's situations that don't work.
95%, 98%.
I wouldn't give the amount of budget to him that Michigan did. Okay, star quarterback, 20% of your budget. I mean, last year Brian Kelly talked about $18 million on the roster. Nussmeier, by some reports, made a little under $4 million.
Would you give him what LSU offered last year? I would.
Yeah, I would give him that.
Yeah.
Now, if his demand is I got to have $12 million more dollars, well then no, you can.
Unless you're Logan Thomas, unless you're Sims from Arizona State currently, who else that just didn't get any better with experience? 95% of the college quarterbacks get better with reps, with time.
You think he get better under Lane Kiffin? Just a little bit. Can he run just a little bit? Like he needs.
He's going to run. He'd be tailor made for Lane Kiffin's offense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, send the plane.
Can he take the $500,000 from Weiss Jr. and put it in the till for this guy?
Yeah. I mean, Portnoy's pissed. He's not putting up any more money. So
he's not happy.
Portnoy's having a bad week.
Having an annual,
from Pete Carroll to Sherrone Moore. Portnoy's having a bad week.
Yes. You always have a gripe when the coach you bet against does something to you, not to your liking. That's
so Bryce
really...
Underwood to me. Yes, if he wants to come, LSU needs a quarterback. Hell yes, send the plane. Send it today. Okay.
Yes.
Now, do I think that's going to happen? Probably not.
Why not? I mean, he didn't spend any other place or any other school committed that long. He didn't spend as much time as he did in Baton Rouge and LSU's facility. How can LSU not be the favorite? They need a quarterback. How can they not be the favorite? He's got a. LSU's showing you they got budget, right?
Yeah, and you got and now you have a quarterback coach that you really know will develop you.
Every quarterback has put up numbers in Lane Kiffin's system,
and he would.
Every quarterback,
he would too. So I shouldn't say it's doubtful because this is less than 24 hours. This is very fresh. I have no idea what Bryce Underwood's thinking, but if he's thinking at all that he wants to come to Baton Rouge, send the plane, send it now. What else are you going to go? This kid's got
throwing juice.
Throwing juice?
And a dog. I mean,
look, I thought it would help.
Does he like dogs?
Everybody likes dogs.
Does he like rotisserie turkeys? We'll throw him in a turkey from Sammy's. I mean,
What's for Christmas dinner, man?
Same thing. He was there for Thanksgiving dinner. Charlie.
Remind everybody.
Rotisserie and fried. Who is saying? Who wouldn't want this guy?
That's social media nonsense.
Well, that's why you brought this up. I mean, I like
social media nonsense.
Okay. No, I don't want the guy that performed at the level he did this past year. You're not going to get that guy.
I expect him to get better. Yeah.
Yes.
He's got 12 games under his belt, and I got a coach that needs a quarterback.
You saying Michigan's coaching staff has the track record of putting their quarterbacks in friendly systems?
Do I have to put it in capital letters for you? Yes, absolutely.
Think he's got as much ability as Matt Corral?
If it was last year's quarterback's coach, I wouldn't have that much faith. I got this year's
Check
quarterback.
out the numbers Matt Corral put in his Kiffin system.
Pretty good. He was pretty good.
And the runners. You think he's not a good running threat as Jackson Dart?
He's big.
He's big, really fast. He's got a big arm, man. No,
I want to talk about the replacements when we come back.
But the holiday catering menu over here, it is available for Christmas now. We are closed on Christmas Day here at Sammy's, both here on Highland Road, Highland near Starring, and on Old Perkins Road near Airline in Prairieville. But we're open pretty much the whole day on Christmas Eve. 10:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. 10:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. All the pickups will be done then. Orders have to be done 48 hours in advance. Charlie, the rotisserie turkeys, the fried turkeys, we got that, right? We got all the sides, the mashed potatoes, the boudin rice dressing, which I had, which is delicious. Pepper jack, crawfish, cornbread dressing, outstanding. Green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, spinach and artichoke madeleine, macaroni and cheese. Let me tell you about this giblet gravy. It's a must, bro. Mm-hmm. This giblet gravy is unbelievable from Sammy's. It was unreal, man. The chicken and sausage gumbo, the seafood gumbo, whatever you want. So holiday pickup, please get your order in 48 hours in advance. They're doing it for Christmas and New Year's. We've got crawfish over here at Sammy's.
Already?
Started yesterday. No, they're not full size at this point, but the season is great. You need your fix. You need all that cold beer over here at Sammy's and get that seasoning. Man, we do have it dine-in only, but we went through 100 pounds last night for the first night over here at Sammy's. So crawfish season is officially in season. So starting at 5 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, and then on the weekend starting at lunchtime at 11 a.m. And then also gift certificates. Give the gift of mozzarella cheese sticks, a cold beer, crawfish. That's what I want under my tree or in my stocking for this Christmas. For every $100 that you spend on Sammy's gift cards, get an extra $20 bonus. So give the gift of Sammy's for this Christmas season. Again, $100 gift card. For every $100, get $20 free.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny, live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Handycast up, first of a two-part series in Lane Kiffin's offense. Dixon and I did a deep dive last night, and some of the things that make that offense so successful conceptually, that is up right now on YouTube. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s. Go to supremerice.com. Jimmy, the usual lists that come out as soon as one of these big jobs comes up. We've been looking at these lists for months now because of all the jobs that were open. So for the Michigan head coaching job, I'll give you the odds if you want, but we know those things don't matter. Kalen DeBoer is the first name that's come up on just about every list. Now, why is that?
I mean,
the Alabama coach
following Saban. I mean, he's
the Alabama coach.
He didn't know there was going to be a tough a pressure cooker before he accepted the job.
A lot of people tried to warn him.
Well, the thing about the Michigan job is, okay, this just in, but you got to have in college football, you got to push the envelope to be competitive. You got to fudge. You got to borderline cheat or just flat out cheat sometimes, okay? And is Michigan, who is a proud academic institution, I mean, the best coach they had, you know, in this lifetime, I mean, we want to put Harbaugh next to Schembechler. Schembechler never won one. He had a longer his run of success, but never won one. I mean, the guy was suspended. This is how the guy got the job. And, I mean, you rushed into it. It's a bad hire in hindsight because, I mean, where was Sherrone Moore? What other jobs was he up for?
None.
You know, so you have this and this back to back, and then you know, so will they kind of go, Pollyanna, man, we got to clean these things up. You know, our image is being tarnished. And so you don't have the administrative support, administrative support that you have, that everybody else has who's going to do it. You know, the administrative support they're given the Freeman that they didn't give to Kelly. Well, if you think that, oh, no, he's just that much better. He's a better recruiter. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, he's getting a little bit more support as well. Budget. Getting more of that as well.
The Alabama coach, no matter what job comes up, no matter how big it is, Ohio State, Texas, whatever you think the biggest job in college football is, the Alabama coach doesn't come up in that discussion because nobody leaves Alabama unless there's some kind of other circumstances. In other words, there's no job that is, oh, my God, that's a better job than Alabama, clearly. So there's got to be some circumstances. DeBoer didn't hang up on Penn State right away. They took two shots at him. He said, nah, no thanks. Usually when the job comes open, it's because something over there is not quite. Saban listened to Texas, okay, because it was going to be an outlandish amount of money, and maybe because he wanted one other different challenge before he retired. That didn't work out. Francione got tired. Now we're going back 25 years. Francione got tired of the fishbowl that was Tuscaloosa and got out. The program was nowhere near, at that point, what it is now. DeBoer listened to Penn State. He comes up on all these lists. He going to listen to Michigan? Is he going to take this job?
I wouldn't.
You would?
No,
you wouldn't. You wouldn't. I
just told you. You don't. Man, they might be into self-policing themselves. Are they? You don't think there's a chance they could be tightening screws a little bit up there?
Sure.
I mean,
but tightening the screws on what? You can pay players now legally. So. What are you tightening the screws on? Yes, he can't go up there and sleep with any staffers. I'm sure he'll agree to that. You could.
What if one of your players gets in a little trouble? No, we can't do this. I mean, you know,
I don't know if that's enough of a detriment to not take the job.
I don't know if I'm all the administrative support is all in, Charlie. There's a lot of things. There's a laundry list. We can go. You want to talk for the rest of the show on all the things that that fall under administrative support? We can. It's not a given that it's there right now. It's more compromise, maybe. Than ever. There's more reason for them not to give you the full administrative support that everybody else is getting.
And your AD is under fire right now. Your AD is going to be under fire. He's going to have to answer questions about this. Okay? So, yes, the administrative portion I get. Yes. But you said it yourself. DeBoer was one or two bad plays away from potentially getting fired this year. Now, they got to pay him all kind of money if they run him off.
I mean, if they get housed, next Friday night.
They get beat there, and he goes 9-3 next year. He's fired, right?
Oh, he might get fired Friday night.
Okay, right.
I mean, they don't. I mean, it's unrealistic expectations, and maybe it took him to spend 2 seasons down there to realize it.
So he goes up there, he starts with a fresh contract.
But I wouldn't have passed up Penn State for Michigan in this state. Normally, I would. Not in these conditions. No.
Michigan a better job than Penn State?
Normally, yes.
Okay.
Not now.
Okay.
No. You just said it. You don't know if who's going to be your boss. I mean, where all your recruiting class going? Where's your current roster?
No, there's
going?
a lot of questions.
Where are you going to tighten it up? You're going to sell police? I mean, you like quoting Portnoy. He said he's slowing up. He's not giving as much money, right?
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of things.
We
I
said
don't
we
think
give it to Hunter,
right
but-
now. Penn State's a better job. If he turned them down, I can't see where it would want to go to Michigan.
I don't know if Ward Manuel's involvement in this, if you want to call it that, rises to the level of a fireable offense. He could easily say, we've been investigating this for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and we wanted to be sure. This was a major firing. We wanted to make sure our investigation was complete before we said anything. That would be at least a plausible explanation if he can back
What do
it
you
up.
think?
If I was DeBoer, I'd take the Michigan job. I would get out of that pressure cooker. I'd start fresh with a new contract. And if he goes 9-3, 3 years in a row at Michigan, he's not getting fired. Unless he gets blown out by Ohio State.
Make a
every
side
year.
bet. I ain't going.
Quitting on your team in the playoff, huh?
No. I'm talking about after the playoff.
Okay, they can wait. Michigan will wait.
Yeah, signing day is over. I mean, it's a dead period anyway. What are you in a hurry
Portals.
for?
Because all you guys are free to leave.
Okay. Yeah,
You might want to lock them down, huh?
Yep. They can't actually leave until January. But
Can you
yeah,
make a side bet. You think he's going?
No, I don't.
Okay, but you would go if you were him.
I can make a strong argument
But
that
you
he
think
should.
so you think the Michigan job is better than Penn State because you just turned him down?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. Yeah.
Normally, this is not normal.
This is not normal. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
Nothing
Appreciate
normal.
it.
Nothing
Don't forget our
normal
friends
about
at
this.
Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all your real estate closings. 296-0060, full service title company, servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Sammy's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Kaluch, what's up, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy Ott? How you been, buddy?
Been good. You tried to warn us you worried about your Dallas Cowboys last Thursday night. They were kind of a popular bet last night, and you smelled a rat with your boys.
Well, you know how it is. I mean, Jimmy, when we're in the business and in the industry, you have to be very objective. You can't bet with your heart. You can't pick with your heart. And in certain situations this year, Dallas's defense has disappeared. And this was just a prime example of where the defense doesn't show up. Yeah, Dak shows up, but, you have Dickens whose mind is elsewhere. CD leaves the game early, and before you know it, Detroit has 40-some-odd points. And, I knew definitely the Cowboys were dead about an hour prior to the game where I saw Amon St. Brown warming up and giving thumbs up. Once this guy is added to that offense, it's going to be opening things up for that two-prong running attack. So, Dallas, they're just Dallas. They're a good team, but they're not a great team or a playoff team. That's why they're a borderline good team, and especially with the competition level now of the NFC, especially, the division there with Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago, it's become difficult because that's the division that's going to have 3 representatives, and, Dallas is on the outside looking in. They would have to run the table and probably still need a little help with the Eagles just hovering there waiting to get caught. So, Washington, you couldn't really predict how bad they were going to be just because of the injuries. The Giants, you kind of knew a rebuild, but they showed flashes early on that they could improve. And, now Dallas is in second place, but that's not any justification for a playoff spot.
Hey, what's the futures market look like at the Rampart in South Point for you guys where, the Eagles now have tripped up the defending champs? They've done this before where, in between 2 Super Bowl runs, They had this great start and just this strange. They don't look close to what they were. They've lost 3 in a row. Certainly in the AFC, all the regular participants in the top of the list. Kansas City's now 6-7. Baltimore's fighting for their playoff, like Buffalo is 2 games back of New England. Is the confidence level shifted to the Patriots, the Broncos, some others?
Yeah, you're going to see the future market definitely. It's like the stock market, where basically whoever's hot and has that new improved drug or what have you, they're going to have substantial backing, and that's what's happening with Drake May and the Patriots. And a lot of people are skeptical now of the Chiefs. The skepticism of the Ravens started real early in the season. You could see that they were not as dominating or as flashy as they were going to be perceived, especially with that defense. Joe Burrow went down early, so that eliminated Cincinnati. I think there's still a lot of Buffalo backers that believe, you have Josh Allen, who's one of the best gamers and quarterbacks in the NFL, so that definitely helps. But, yeah, the complexion has changed drastically outside of the Rams. A lot of people were perceiving the Rams to be on top in the NFC with the Eagles, with Green Bay. Definitely the market has substantially backed the Rams here at the Rampart and South Point. The Eagles, they still have backing. Dallas had early future action, but not much. I mean, everybody expected a down year this year. And the surprise is definitely the Chicago Bears. And Robinson did a great job. I mean, he kind of got out-coached. I don't know what he was doing towards the end of the game. I don't understand what some of these coaches do, where they just let the clock run and run. You have 3 timeouts. You start to question their coaching techniques. And he actually got out-coached by Matt LaFleur, which is unheard of. Matt LaFleur is definitely one of those underachievers that year in, year out has massive talent, and they just don't seem to get over the cusp. But, now you're starting to see some Green Bay backers. They're trying to prove me wrong. I was very skeptical. I still believe they're one of the most overrated teams in the NFL. But, I mean, the way the complexion has changed and that the Eagles can't get out of their own way and several other teams have faltered, like Tampa Bay and so forth, in the NFC, now Green Bay starts to rise to the top and, helped along by Minnesota and their horrible season. So it's going to be interesting to see if teams like Seattle, who are definitely attracting some future action here at the Rampart and South Point, and the Bears can get to that top of the hill, but it's going to be very difficult.
Charlie, who do you think the favorite is to win the NFC right now?
The Rams?
Yep. What about the AFC?
Harder, but I'm going to say right this second, the Patriots.
Dwayne, this is our local shop here. Try favorites exactly plus 370 on the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Bills. Exactly the same.
Definitely.
Is that
you know what it is, Jimmy? We took so much action early in the season on Buffalo that it is so hard to move that meter because they were the darling and definitely the team that everybody was perceiving to go to the Super Bowl and represent the AFC as well as Baltimore. But the Buffalo money was so substantial, guys, that's where the market definitely lies. And, to move that needle, it becomes very, very difficult. So, we got plied with a lot of that action, and we're still, we're sustaining. It's what it is. It is what it is. But, definitely it's going to be interesting to see if the Patriots could overhaul. Now, here's our odds currently, 3-1 to win the AFC on the Buffalo Bills. That is the favorite at the Rampart South Point. And that's to win the AFC. I'm sorry, I think I said NFC.
Right.
To win the AFC. Then you have the Broncos at 4-1. You have the Patriots at 4-1. You have the Texans, believe it or not, at 4-1.
Yeah.
So that's where the money has gone at the Rampart and the South Point. But still, the ticket count is high on the Bills. The Bills have the highest ticket count, followed by the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix, who, have taken advantage, winning the games that they definitely need to. And on the other side of the ball, the Rams are plus to win the NFC, so they're a substantial favorite.
You say, but with Kansas City making it so many years, I know their odds now because they're 6-7. But you didn't take more money on the Chiefs over the course of the season?
No, not over the Bills. The Bills' money was just unbelievable. The Chief money, like, it trickled in mid-season, but the ticket count is much higher on the Bills. I would say we have a third more tickets on the Bills, as well as the money being 3 times the amount at the Rampart and South Point on the Bills. So the Bills were definitely, they were the major market attraction, Jimmy. That's how it started, and it's, stayed consistent.
Where's the action on tonight's game, Atlanta and Tampa Bay?
Yeah, this is a tough game, I'll be honest with you. I have trouble handicapping this game to start, but right now at the Rampart and South Point, the money is on the Buccaneers. I mean, slightly more, but not much. A lot of people are backing the Falcons. The Sharps jumped all over it early. The ticket count is, about 3-1 in favor of the Buccaneers. So, the average consumer is just parlaying and teasing the Buccaneers, yet the Sharps jumped on the Falcons. We're sitting at 5 at the Rampart and South Point. Total is 44 currently.
All right, and any other substantial action for this week's NFL card before we get to your hockey picks?
Let's check it out, guys. Right now, let's see. The Seahawks are a major attraction right now. Ticket count is unbelievably 5-1 in favor of the Seahawks, minus 13.5 over the Colts.
No Riley Leonard love.
The money is 6-1. We have the Broncos. The money is 2-1, but the ticket count is actually even against the Packers. But the money is on the Broncos, plus 2.5 at home. I think that's a good spot for Denver if they could just, start consistent. That's their whole thing. They're a terrible first-half team, but in the second half, they really start to get it going and get everything in sync. The big matchup, money is 2-1 on the Rams, naturally, because of the proximity. We are in Los Angeles, and once the Rams get going, everybody's going to continually back them until the season ends. Stafford, Nakua, you got all this flashiness going on. Devontae Adams having a fabulous season, so you can understand that. 49 is 12.5. We can't buy a bet on the Titans. I mean, ticket count is 5-1. The money is unbelievably 7-1 in that game. And the Cowboys are fashionably in the market right now. Ticket count is, 7-1 on the Cowboys. And the money is just massive. So I'll be holding a sign on North Rampart outside of the Rampart Casino. Please bet the Vikings. We need some Viking money.
There you go. All right, who we got? We got a bunch of games, 13 games on the ice tonight. Who we got tonight?
Okay, all right. So the Montreal Canadiens now, they have called up Jacob Fowler. They don't know what to do. Samuel Montembeault is just horrible. Jacob Dolbish is okay as a backup. He has now actually become the starter. But here's a little tidbit for you guys, and this is sentiment. Patrick Roy and Carey Price both started their careers against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Their first game was against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Tonight, Jacob Fowler will make his first start, and he's supposed to be in the lineage of great Montreal goaltenders like Ken Dryden, like Carey Price, like Patrick Roy. I'll take Montreal tonight. We're going to take this with some sentiment. I think the young defense is going to rally around this kid. We're only seeing a slight plus, if you could even get it. Right now, it's even money at the Rampart South Point. Penguins minus 120, so I'm going to take the Canadiens 15-11-1. Let's see if they could get back into the playoff hunt. This is very, very critical right now. A measuring stick for the Montreal Canadiens. I think they have an excellent
We're looking at plus 110 here at our local shops at the Queen and Bally's. Canadiens plus 110. All right, who's next?
Beautiful. The New York Islanders, they're rolling right now, 37 points. They overcame the injury to Kyle Palmieri, and we're going against a tough team here as well. The Ducks are rolling as well, guys. Look at the Ducks. It's unbelievable how they are playing. They're 19-10. That is unbelievable. 39 points. They have more points than the Vegas Golden Knights. So you're understandably seeing why it's only minus 115 at the Rampart and South Point on the Islanders. But Patrick Roy, mentioning that name again, he's a head coach of the year candidate right now with this New York Islander roster. They've improved. They're playing better at home. The young team has a lot of momentum. Let's go with the New York Islanders in that matchup. Then we have the heavy hitting match.
Charlie tried to tell me they were going to be okay without Palmieri. Okay, Islanders, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Charlie, he pays attention to the hockey. He knows, and they have been effective without Palmieri. I'll be honest with you. Credit to Charlie there. Beautiful call right there.
Pay attention to whatever you tell me, Khalid.
You're loving it. Okay, let's go. Let's take a shot tonight. Minnesota Wild against the juggernaut Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars have a plus 29 goal differential right now. Oh. But Minnesota is actually third in the Central. They have 37 points. They're 8-3-4 at home, 16-9 overall. You're getting a nice plus here, plus 120 at the Rampart and South Point. The Wild are the third and final game tonight, guys. Third and final answer. Let's get it.
All right, Minnesota. We're looking at plus 120 around here. So a couple of short dogs and a short favorite there. Palmieri. Right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Not Calamari, Palmieri.
Not Palmero.
No.
I knew
him. Not Raphael.
No,
he did not
steroids.
do any steroids.
Palmieri didn't do any steroids either.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I bet on him.
That's why he's on the injured list.
Follow Dwayne on Twitter.
Wait, you guys didn't bring up the Michigan coaching situation.
We talked about it for 2 segments. We talked about 2 segments before you came on. So
I love it.
Michigan in a little trouble right now. So, yes, indeed. Just a tad. Brian Kelly fit in just perfect over there, wouldn't that, huh?
Hey, he's available.
He is available.
Wanted that job at one point in his life.
He sure is. Thank you, Kaluch. We appreciate it, brother. You're the best. Thank you.
Love you guys, and happy holidays to everybody in Baton Rouge.
Be real convenient. All he's got to do is send in a resume, and he has fulfilled his contract. Trying to get a job. I sent him a resume. What else do you want me to do?
Right.
Had the little attachment. Never mind.
He's available.
Satisfied the terms of his contract. I tried to find another job.
Back to the ball real quick as we go to this break. But again, he's going to get fired at some point. If it's not Friday night, it's next year or the year after. I mean, for him to last more than 4 years in Tuscaloosa would be highly improbable, right? Following Nick Saban.
Yeah. This was always going to be a difficult ask. I think they got another highly rated recruiting class. It's a pretty good roster.
Top 5 class.
There's no reason he can't win 10 games next year, but that might get him fired. If he loses in the first round of the playoffs this year, gets in at 10-2 next year, loses in the first round again, he could get fired.
Getting Simpson back was a big piece of their puzzle for next year.
Very much.
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty damn good first year as a first year starting.
He's one of the few guys that could make the playoffs and still get fired.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's not very many jobs like that.
You're following Nick Saban. There's not a tougher job in the country.
Most places you make the playoffs,
you're
okay.
And when he gets fired there, he's not likely to land a job, even in this. Certainly not right now with Penn State, and I don't even think with Michigan.
He can reset the clock if he wants.
Reset the clock.
On his contract, He gets a brand new contract wherever
he goes. He's going to get paid. He can go sit on the beach for a year or two.
To fire him. Hey, go ahead and fire me. Which door you want me to walk out of?
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows for windows, doors, siding, and shutters. Vinyl windows, storm impact windows, wood windows. Don't forget the doors, exterior doors, French doors, sliding glass doors, our siding like vinyl siding or hardy plank siding, shutters, interior, exterior, all of our shutters. Check out all of our inventory online at reliefwindows.com. I certainly use them to replace my wooden windows that rotted. I'm glad I got some now that last. They look good. They're functional. Come with a warranty as well. Call our friends at Relief Windows, 288-8138, and reliefwindows.com.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jim Knowles, who was a defensive coordinator at Penn State last year and Ohio State the 3 years before that, has taken the same position at Tennessee. Nice hire for Josh Heupel, 38 years in the business. Jim Knowles, one of the bigger names among coordinators, headed to Rocky Top. We're back with hour number 2 here at Sammy's on Highland 104.
from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Sammy's on Highland. Come by and see us for lunch and also for your holiday menus. Let Sammy's help out a little bit.
All the stuff that we had available for the Thanksgiving is available for Christmas and New Year's. The turkeys, whether it's fried or rotisserie, the sides, giblet gravy is unbelievable. All the sides like the mashed potatoes, boudin rice dressing, pepper jack crawfish, cornbread dressing, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, spinach and artichoke madeleine, macaroni and cheese. You can do the gumbo, chicken and sausage or seafood, and our white chocolate bread pudding or pecan pies for desserts. All that we ask is get your order in 48 hours in advance. You can come on by and place it, or you can go to our website at sammysgrill.com. Pickups available on New Year's Eve. We're open on New Year's Eve from 10:30 a.m. until 9 p.m. Closed on Christmas. Actually picked up my turkey that morning, Charlie, on Thanksgiving morning. That will not be an option for Christmas. We'll be closed. Give our staff off on Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve, pick it up from, again, 9:30 a.m. to 9 p.m.
SEC schedule reveal tonight. The order.
You get the order? Okay.
Is tonight.
Okay.
We got the opponents. We just need to know in what order. Max, you've been picking up a little bit on this, some of the potential things that, first of all, just to the refresher, LSU's 3 permanent opponents, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M, also on the schedule next year. Alabama, Mississippi State, Texas, Auburn, and Kentucky, and Tennessee rounded out. And, of course, Clemson is going to be the opener. LSU's got to add one non-conference game. Kind of curious to see.
So a traditional, was 12 teams, SEC West schedule. All 5.
Yes, you get
2 Mississippi, 2 Alabama, and Arkansas.
That's right. You get all of those back. The McNeese game is October the 3rd, so we already know that all of the non-conference games aren't going to be in the month of September. LSU actually hasn't even announced who that third non-conference opponent is. It's not going to be anybody, big or anything like that.
La Tech.
Is it going to be La Tech again?
Believe
That's
so.
fine. I don't care. But the order of the rest of them will be at least a little bit interesting. So you're starting to get some of the leakage on this?
Well, nothing officially leaked, but I just heard some things. And
let's talk about some of the things you've heard, please.
I did hear that I think the Ole Miss, the heavily anticipated meeting in Oxford, will probably be the SEC opener, September 19th, I believe that is.
Early in the game, I was sort of hoping, and I realize this runs counter to the break before where the Alabama game usually is, would have been to put that game on Halloween. If the league's got a little bit of a nod towards history, Halloween is a Saturday, and Lord knows that there's a history between those two teams. This the most anticipated LSU Ole Miss game since Billy Cannon's run, Jimmy?
I don't know about that.
Well,
2003 was pretty big.
2003 was pretty big. All right, it's in the top 5 anyway. I would have.
Well, when the season starts, yeah.
I know that they've got a gazillion factors in putting together a schedule for everybody, but just kind of selfishly, I thought,
well, they played September.
Halloween night's not a bad.
They played September this year.
They did.
So,
but you're going to 9 games. We don't even know if the Alabama game is going to be the first week in November, just because it's been there for the last 15 years through 2 schedule adjustments. We don't know that it's going to be there. So I would have liked to have put it on Halloween.
You know when Alabama Tennessee is going to be, huh?
The third week in October.
Is what's your expectation level of that?
100%.
Yeah,
102%. What else, Max? Possibility LSU could play Alabama and Texas back to back.
I think November is going to be pretty tough. Just the way the schedule breaks. Right, you've got Texas A&M's got to go at some point. I would think they're in an October spot, but. Yeah, Texas, Tennessee. You got a trip to Tennessee. I could see that being later in the season. So you're going to finish with Arkansas, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, that's about the only thing. That's about the only thing I'm willing to say. Put that in concrete that they'll finish with Arkansas, just because, well, they almost have to.
What about Arkansas's been playing Missouri? They still have Missouri?
Yes. They do.
They've got. It's weird, Jimmy, because they've got a lot of these teams that are traditionally right now playing a certain team to end the year.
Right.
But
so Texas A&M.
Yeah.
They're not going to have Oklahoma next year at LSU, so they've got to finish with somebody, and so you're going to break up some of them, right? Because A&M, Texas
they'll
will win.
They'll have Oklahoma the last weekend.
Yeah, Missouri, Oklahoma is what I'm betting on for the last week of the season.
No, really?
LSU doesn't play Oklahoma.
Not Missouri, Arkansas?
Well, no, Arkansas I think is going to come here. So you could have done it the other way. You could have put Missouri, Arkansas, and LSU, Oklahoma. But
they played. Arkansas, Missouri have played. They're still a permanent.
They are. And you're
going to have to break up some of those, Jimmy, because LSU can't play Oklahoma next year.
I get it, but that's not one you got to break up.
They've got to break up some.
The Missouri, Arkansas. I meant to say Missouri, Arkansas play in the last week. But
but then who does LSU play the last week?
They don't play Oklahoma this year.
Oh, I got you.
You've got to break up some of them.
You know the other one, besides rivalry week, that's going to be set as well.
Well, all of the
no, Oklahoma, Texas is going to be on the second Saturday.
The Egg Bowl is going to be set for the last weekend.
That's rivalry week.
Okay.
So besides rivalry week.
Besides rivalry week.
Third Saturday in October, and the second Saturday in October.
Oh,
besides that, I don't know.
Texas, Oklahoma for Texas State Fair.
Second Saturday in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, in September.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep Texas and A&M in the final weekend.
The rivalry week is set. Yeah, that's rivalry week.
Yeah.
That's Thanksgiving weekend.
Right, but I'm just saying you're going to have to break up. Like the LSU one is going to be one exception to that.
So give Texas A&M, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and so you think they're going to move Arkansas away from Missouri to LSU?
Yes. I think they just have to. They got to give LSU somebody, and Oklahoma.
So who's Missouri going to play?
They have Oklahoma as a permanent opponent.
There you go.
Probably,
okay, I see what you're saying.
That's probably it. The rest of it, as far as the order, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say about this when it comes out right now. I have a 2-word response to however this turns out tonight. Those 2 words are that's fine. Because when LSU got Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M and didn't get saddled with 2 of the heavyweights in the league. They didn't get saddled with Alabama and Texas or Alabama and Auburn and Texas A&M. When you give them those three opponents compared to what some of the other teams have as those 3 opponents, then you can put them in whatever order you want.
If you're talking about competitive advantage, I mean, from a competition, you can't ask for any better.
There's no whining about if Alabama and Texas do end up in back-to-back weeks, no whining, okay? You got to play Texas this year. You don't have to play Texas every year. You got to play Alabama. You don't have to play them every year. So if they fall back-to-back in this particular year, that's just how that falls. So my response to I can't imagine they would do anything that would go, oh, my goodness, that's okay. Put them in whatever order you want. Now, I do have some preferences if I could do it. I would like to see Alabama at the first week in November. We're kind of used to that. I would like to see Kentucky in October, just for no other reason than the fans going up there. I think will travel a little bit better with in October. With you get the last time we went to Keeneland. We saw how many LSU fans were there. I think you might draw a little bit better in October for that, but I don't know.
You got it. It's a tight window. It's got to be in October.
Got to be in a certain 3 or 4 week period.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, I would like to see in September if I have my druthers. I think that'll be one of the games that LSU will be favored to win by the biggest margin, maybe, with Mississippi State coming here. Outside of that, put them in whatever order you want. You have a preference, Max?
Everything you said, I kind of built out a educated guess of what the schedule will look like, and everything you've said matched what I kind of think they might do. Mississippi State maybe following Ole Miss, and then Kentucky in October. But that's just a guess. Some of this I kind of have an idea of, but I agree with everything you said.
Look at you being right on all that stuff.
What do we think of A&M moving forward?
I still think of A&M as a
top half.
Yeah, the top half of the league,
but nowhere specific. I mean, keep in mind there's 7 conference wins. Their opponents were 12-43 in league play.
Oof, I didn't realize it was that bad. I knew it was bad. I didn't realize it was quite that.
He had
bad.
a 0-8, 3 1-7s, a 2-6. Nobody finished. It's a Drinkwitz schedule. No wins over teams that finished with a conference record, conference winning record.
I thought of them as a top 8 team in the conference before they had this year, just based on the resources. And I realized they've been.
You're not ready to pump them up like this. We're going to go quadrants at top 4.
No, I don't have them in the top 4.
Who is top 4? Georgia.
It's still Georgia, Alabama, Texas, and the fourth one it's up for debate. I mean, over the last 3 years, it's been Ole Miss, but I don't expect that to continue. They changed coaches, if you didn't hear. Outside of those 3, based on the recent success, I think the next most likely teams would be LSU, Florida, A&M.
And Florida they got to improve, man.
They do.
They got to do something on the field.
It's been
what's their
been
conference record like the last 10 years? It's
rough. It's rough. Maybe I got to get it out of my head that's just one of the premier. We grew up with that, man.
They're not the program we grew up with. There's no question about that.
You put the right coach there, but they put a lot more wrong coaches than right coaches. Tennessee's another one. We grew up with Tennessee as a powerhouse, and then they were bad for 12, 14 years.
Well, they have resources to be good if they get it straight.
Jim Knowles being hired, we did that story right before the break. Okay, that's just kind of a splash coordinator hire, wouldn't you say? I mean, last year that guy was replacing the highest paid defensive coordinator in
it's kind of weird, because they were so the fans were so down. I mean, it looked like it, but there's never been a game in the Horseshoe where they had more opponents' fans than at that playoff game where Tennessee took over against Ohio State, and they were pouting about losing 4 years in a row to Michigan. And if it was a 14 playoff, they would have been gone, but. They rallied, but he still left. He thought he was going to. He had a ton of talent at Ohio State too, but he thought he was going over to a better situation than what he was with Penn State. There's no doubt. And he didn't do a great job. Their defense was very typical of the team. It wasn't all Drew Aller's fault this year. I mean, they were pretty average. We watched UCLA go up and down the field on them, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Northwestern outgained them. I mean,
that UCLA game was shocking.
Now, do you agree that the games that were played by that team were at a higher level? That was a tougher opponent and place to win when Oregon won there and when Indiana won there. Kind of like when Georgia and Alabama went to Auburn.
Yes.
Was that not a typical 1-7 team in the league?
Right. When by the time Indiana got there, you had already fired the coach. You had already lost the quarterback, but you had a chance for the quarterback, the other quarterback, to get a little bit of time under his belt. Yeah, no, they were much different, and they gave Indiana all they wanted. They
took the lead.
An argument that was the best game that they. Certainly the best game they played after Franklin got fired. Maybe their best game all year. It's either that or Oregon. I mean, Indiana's the lone unbeaten left, and they're a shoelace away from winning that game.
Yes.
Had to be the best game they played. I guess the Oregon game
they
went double overtime.
They would have had a field goal to tie it.
Yeah.
But, heck, the ball's on the ground. And they fall on it against Oregon. They win that.
They fall on the ball, and James Franklin keeps his job.
The ball's on the ground.
I remember the play.
and then one play away, they had to convert a fourth down because Penn State scored the first possession in overtime.
That's right.
And on Oregon's first possession, they had to convert a fourth down. Now, they blew them off. It was not a tough conversion. They just powered them. And that Joe Moore finalist offensive line, kind of that's one of those plays where, this line's really good.
Hey, one more on that, and then we'll quit. You asked me who I thought the better job was. We disagree on Michigan, Penn State as far as a better job.
No.
Slightly.
Not normally.
Okay, but just now. All right.
Now, Penn State, yes.
Before we get into the transfer portal, before we get into any of that stuff, who's going to be preseason ranked higher next year, Michigan or Penn State?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, you have such a wild card when you Michigan's roster. The floor floor's pretty low at Penn State. They signed how many? 2? Then they signed 2 on last Wednesday?
On Wednesday they signed 2. I think they've signed a couple after that, but let me check here real quick.
Well, that's 2 more secure than Michigan has now.
Everybody can leave. Everybody can leave.
I don't know, Charlie. They're both bad situations.
The last 4 years since 2022, best SEC records in conference play: Georgia, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, but then LSU and Tennessee tied for 5th.
Charlie, I'm talking about look, Penn State's administration didn't exactly put on a display of strength, during this hiring process.
No, they.
Okay, well, this is for different reasons. Okay, that was performance, and you didn't hire a coach with as good of credentials as Franklin, but
Penn State fell backwards into Matt Campbell. It wasn't who they were trying to hire. That wasn't their focus from the beginning.
Had they hired him in the middle of November,
well, you're right.
This would be a completely different. It would be
if they announce him the Monday after the season ends. Wow, what a great job you guys did! Y'all spotlighted your guy, you targeted him, and you got him.
Even late November. But that I know it's a different deal, it's a different level. But UConn, the reason they benefited and got things going with Jim Mora Jr. is they got him signed early, and boom, he's roster building immediately. I know it's a different level, but they were so bad. They were so bad, man. That's what really good coaching job, what he did over there. They were the worst Division I team. And they went to a bowl game the next year, I think. Or right at it, 500.
They did. They were a 6-win team.
I think they went and lost to Marshall.
Got into one of the smaller
bowls. They were not a good team, but they were so improved. And if Campbell gets hired with a similar timeline, now he wants to finish his season, I guess, but they were out of it for a while. Their season fell way below expectations pretty early.
I wouldn't have expected them to have him leave Iowa State before the season finale, but right after that, the Monday, the same day LSU announced Kiffin. That should have been the day that Penn State announced.
Yeah, Mora was out of work at the time.
Right, they had that advantage. We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store. Right now, go to thethibodeaustore.com. Up to 51% on all hand and power tools from Milwaukee, and from all Channel Lock hand tools, up to 45% off on the website. Looking for holiday gift ideas? Cordless power tools, tool storage, outdoor cooking, outdoor power equipment, patio furniture, spreaders and cedars, all that stuff that, maybe you're not going to use it until next summer, but get it while it's on special right now here before the holiday season. Solar outdoor security cameras on special right now. Security locks as well are available at thethibodeaustore.com, or you can go down 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux Highway 70 in Pierre Part, open until 5:30. Get your holiday shopping done at ThibodeauStore.com. Live at lunch from Sammy's on Highland, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, man, listen, you want to be secure. You want to have a solid financial plan. Let Phil Fontenot and his staff help you out. That's what they've done for our family. You sit down, you have a conversation about exactly where you are in life, the plans that you want to put together, what your future plans are, and they'll take you through step by step, establish that lifetime relationship. So go to coastalcapitaladv.com to set up an appointment. Member FINRA SIPC. Heading into the latter stages of the NFL season. Jimmy, you asked me earlier if I had one quarterback to win a game this weekend, who was I picking? And right this second, I think I'd still pick Josh Allen, but I can't tell you that Matthew Stafford's not playing better. There was just a little bit better. There was a conversation on this morning on ESPN about if Stafford won the MVP and or the Rams won the Super Bowl, he calls it quits. He could call it quits anyway. And if that would begin the discussion of Joe Burrow requesting a trade or pushing for a
If you
trade
flip
to the
their
Rams.
records, Allen would be the MVP, a favorite.
Over Stafford.
Oh yeah.
How close are the numbers?
Well, the obvious is Allen gives you the running threat, which he, that Stafford just doesn't do. Stafford.
No, I mean how close are the odds? Are they very close? Are they not as close?
Well, you see these, odds. I mean, it's not as extreme as the Heisman, but it's win related. I mean, it's a slash team award. You got to be so much the best if your team's having a so year. But I mean, and Stafford, I think Stafford's having his best year of his career. I mean, he had the rough little stretch in Charlotte against Carolina where he had it was like 24 or 28 straight touchdowns without an interception,
28, yep.
And he throws one to break it, and then he throws a pick six.
Yeah,
and
the pick six was his fault. I didn't think the first one was. The first one, somebody got a hand on it, I think, at the line of scrimmage. But last year,
those count.
They do. They do. Last year, his numbers winning the MVP were almost identical to Lamar Jackson's. I mean, there was very close. And Jackson had won it the year before, so there was some sentiment that Allen would win it, and he ended up doing that. Would there be some sentiment this year if their numbers are anywhere close?
Does Stafford have an MVP?
He does not.
He
doesn't have a vote.
That sentiment's real, Charlie.
Yeah,
that sentiment is real.
Not only has he not won one, he does not have a vote.
And I'm not. And sometimes it's rightfully done. Like if it's that close, we're like, wait a minute, this guy's going to have 4, this guy's going to have none. When it should be like one difference at the most.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3-1 at the worst. I mean, so if it does close, yeah. I mean, I'm not ready to go Michael Jordan where they didn't give it to him every year because there was just a little Jordan fatigue.
Yeah.
But no, that is real. Here's the odds. It finally came up. Stafford's minus 180. May is plus $2. So you lay in money with Stafford. But they get the Lions this week. They got to go to Seattle. He did not have a great game against Seattle. Remember, that's the game where Seattle, they turned Seattle. Darnold had so many turnovers and they still had to sweat a 60-yard field goal, and that's because the ball went inside, the punt went out inside the 1-yard line. I mean, Seattle, make an argument, it was the better team that day. The outlier, you think Darnold's not going to turn it over that much. But Allen's all the way to 15-1. But if you flip the records, I think that, I think he would be the favorite. It might be close, but, May, a little early. I mean, if May had his career leading into this, when this was Stafford's second year, it might be flip-flopped, and I can understand that.
I don't have
because Stafford's on his way to the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, I think
he
is.
So, I mean,
I have no problem
with
with
best showing, MVP voting.
He's never gotten a vote. He's
never
gotten one vote. Yeah. Now, keep in mind that a lot of his prime years
were all pros.
No, because a lot of that stuff was right in the middle of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and then later in his career, Patrick Mahomes. He got shut out of a lot.
But not even a second-team All-Pro.
He may have a second-team All-Pro.
I don't think he does, Charlie.
Maybe he doesn't.
No, because they talk about that, and I listened to one of the voters in Ira Kaufman, and he talks about that. That's brought up a lot.
He's been in the league since 2009. You're talking about Tom Brady's prime, Peyton Manning's prime, Drew Brees' prime. Matt Ryan had an MVP season in there, and then towards the back
Lions teams,
and then towards the back end of that, Patrick Mahomes. So no, he doesn't have one. I've got no problem with Drake May being where he is. The numbers back it up.
If he had the Eagles supporting cast, would he have an All-Pro in there?
He might.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sometimes you just look at those things, you go, well, wait a minute. Robin Yount, this is my favorite one. Robin Yount is a first ballot Hall of Famer. The guy went to 3 All-Star games. Are you kidding me? Robin Yount. Why? Because he played in the American League where Cal Ripken was the starting shortstop in the All-Star game every year until Yount moved to the outfield. So sometimes you just get these statistical anomalies. That's what it is with Stafford. It's not that he's not a Hall of Famer. It's that look who he was up against in a lot of those years.
It's, for everything you're talking about, but, I mean, not even a first or second team All-Pro. That's you still got to –
the competition was fierce.
I got you, but they've been – all them guys been gone for a little bit. Or they've been older.
Well, Mahomes took over for him, though.
True. Well, that's one. Well, so.
And Lamar Jackson has won 2 of these things.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen has now won 1.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. I've got an account over at United Community Bank. Go check out our great team of bankers, very friendly. Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny, live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Matt Humans joins us right now from VEASAN in Las Vegas. Matt, how are you?
Hey, doing great. And I don't know if you had Wes Reynolds on your show this week, but not doing as well as Wes. I've never seen that guy smile so much as he has recently.
We did yesterday. He's excited.
Daniel Jones blew out his Achilles, and he's still in a good mood.
I mean, if I didn't know it was impossible for him to give birth, it would like he just had a child. So yes, he was very excited.
He threw the Colts right overboard. It's like, my Hoosiers are there.
I mean, if you're a Colts fan, how could you not be excited? You got 44-year-old Phillip Rivers showing up to save the day, right?
Yes.
What could go wrong?
Oh, yeah. But, how much of it, and we were both on the right side there with the Hoosiers, we knew they were going to be, they were ready to play. No opt-out or anything, even if it was possible there. And, I mean, when are you going to catch Ohio State coming off of a four-year losing streak against Michigan? In doing that, they had won the national championship the year before. We both decided it as a conference championship game. But so, how much of that was played out, or is Indiana as good, or if not better, than Ohio State?
I think Indiana's almost as good as Ohio State, very close. But as we talked about last week, and I talked about on our shows repeatedly, that situation set up perfectly for Indiana, with Buckeyes coming off that big win at Michigan. They didn't care as much about the Big Ten championship game. So there were a lot of factors, and plus the game of being in Indianapolis, there were a lot of factors that really played into Indiana's favor there. And I said on Tim Murray's show on Saturday morning on VSiN, I'll be surprised if Indiana does not win the game. I really expected the Hoosiers to win it, and they didn't play great, but they played well enough to win. Both teams missed the chip shot field goal. One thing a lot of the people who are making excuses for the Buckeyes failed to realize is they had one scoring drive, touchdown drive in the entire game, and it was 25 yards. That's it. The Indiana defense is legit. If you watch the Oregon game, if you watch that Ohio State game, you cannot argue that. The offense at times, Fernando Mendoza, it doesn't always light it up. Like against Penn State, I thought he was a little off that day. He wasn't that great against Ohio State Saturday, but the defense is legit. There's no doubt about that. And hey, on that topic, by the way, I've got bets on Mendoza to win the Heisman. I think this race should be a lot closer than the betting markets are indicating right now. I did not think Mendoza was outstanding. Well, he had a big third down completion to ice the game. Is that a Heisman clincher now?
I mean, we can run a highlight to Diego Pavia and some of his highlight moments. Right. I mean, where do you want to start? I mean, I could put way more. He had the drive against Penn State. Okay, that was that was real, and he did it right after they fell behind. They were down in the last 2 minutes, and I just think it's just the stage. There was very little competition with the ACC championship. That's it. And it came down to the end. Maybe, as a game is that tight, it probably built up a little viewership. And damn it, these, half the voters don't watch football unless it's the last 2 weekends of the season. So, I mean,
right. And the opponent.
But I think it's going to be close. It's going to be close. I got Pavia. I know in game, Sherrone and I were both tracking very hard, and he got to as much as -1. Pavia talk about -150 or -160. During that game. So he was hurt more by Indiana winning than Ohio State winning.
Right. No, that's
I think Mendoza in game was like plus 400, Matt.
Yeah, at one point, I thought the Heisman was slipping away from him. Like you said, I know what Chris said about the betting market too on that. Athletic did a straw poll, and it was very close between the two. I think it came out 64 points for Mendoza, 61 for Pavia. I think you can make a pretty strong case for Pavia, but he didn't get a chance to play in a conference championship game and over the weekend, and it's probably going to be a really close race that Mendoza's going to win. I got to say, there have been some very uninspiring Heisman races over the past 25 years or so, but this is one of the worst I can remember.
What if he drops the pass? Indiana wins the game by the same score, but he drops the pass. I'm serious. How many people made up their mind on that pass?
I thought he made the biggest throws were on the only touchdown drive too. He threw downfield to set him up, and then the touchdown was 25 or 30 yards was a good one as well. Max, you had.
I was going to cite that straw poll. For what it's worth, this week I'd seen as high as 10-1 on Pavia. He's down to 6-1 at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So the straw poll did kind of move the market a little bit.
Yeah. One they got wrong, Matt, was the odds to make it to the college football playoff, and this is rare for these sites to be this off. Notre Dame was anywhere from minus 1,000 to minus 3,000 to make it to the playoff. We were charting. We were on the air at the time. Miami was anywhere from plus 130. I think they went off at plus 165, 185. So they were wrong on that one.
Well, I think a lot of people were wrong about that. It's and the committee might have been wrong too. But that committee was a clown show week after week. When the committee put out its first rankings, Notre Dame was 10 and Miami was 18. You want to tell me what Miami did to close that gap and jump Notre Dame? And then in the previous week's rankings, obviously everybody knows Notre Dame was 2 spots ahead. How did Miami jump Notre Dame in the last week? And I think I heard somebody on the committee said, well, they were urged to go back and rewatch the games. So they went back and rewatched the games and decided to bump Miami up and drop Notre Dame down. It makes no sense whatsoever. Yes, you can make a strong case Notre Dame should not have been in. You can make a strong case Miami should not have been in. But if the committee is going to put out these rankings on this dog and pony TV show every week, how does Miami jump Notre Dame in the final week after being behind them the entire time? That makes no sense.
The answer is that they shouldn't have been that far behind them to begin with.
Well,
and the show is the whole reason for this angst.
He did say that. Well, if they get next to each other, head to head is going to come. Well, why does it take that? And then when you got one team between them, BYU, who's a double-digit dog, to Texas Tech in a neutral site. I mean, you don't have enough vision. Do it then. I mean, do the head-to-head then. I thought they blew it when. What is Notre Dame's best road win? It's at Pitt, right? I mean, okay. So when Miami went to Pitt 2 weeks later and beat them as bad as Notre Dame did, because Notre Dame was dominant against weaker competition. But when they matched it, that's when you do it. Do yourself a favor and allow yourself. I think it would have been much more palatable for the Tim Murrays of the world if they would have done it that week. But they weren't going to be happy, but to lead them on was just, yes, it's foolish. And, the Notre Dame administration's handling it very smoothly. So, anyway.
If this didn't accomplish anything else, it exposed that clause in the contract. If this is 12 or 14 teams next year, that they automatically are in, I think they're going to be some significant pushback. And if they go to 16 teams, that clause goes away.
Matt, you guys at Visa were asked to do the worst beats of the year? The toughest beats or the craziest beats? Who did you and Tim?
Not exactly. That's not exactly the way it went down. But, by the way, I think after what Charlie said, I think this is pretty obvious. You go to 16-team bracket. And no buys. It's like the NCAA tournament Sweet 16, except you seed this. One plays 16, two plays 15. How does that not make complete sense to everybody involved? I don't get it. Why you go from, to 12 to 14? Just go to 16 now. That's the perfect, I think, college football playoff. And then I hear people arguing, well, then there's going to be controversy about the 17th team. No, I don't want to hear controversy about the 17th team. I'm not going to buy into that crap. But if you look at a 16-team bracket this year, and you put in Vanderbilt, Notre Dame, Texas, BYU, how much better would this playoff be if we had a 16-team bracket? Right?
And how much more entertaining would it be to see the Notre Dame reaction when you slot them 7 without playing? Slot them 7 spots, Matt. Then we could really get a good laugh. Anyway.
I don't care. I don't care at that point. Everybody's going to argue about seeding just like they do in the NCAA tournament bracket on Selection Sunday. But if you get in, you can't complain. You get in, you have your chance to play for the national championship. I don't care if Notre Dame got the 15th seed or the 14th seed. If they did, then the number 2 or 3 seed would be complaining that they drew Notre Dame. But whatever. I just get these teams in, give them a shot. It is kind of unfair that Notre Dame, which power rates right now is probably the number 3 or 4 team in college football, is not in the bracket. Brad Powers, who's a college football handicapping specialist, is really good. Powers has got Notre Dame power rated number 3. And you can't get the number 3 team in a 12-team bracket. Something's wrong. But whether you agree with that or not. As far as at VSiN,
I think Notre Dame would be favored over Indiana on a neutral. They were playing this Saturday.
I did too. I said that last week too. I think Notre Dame would be like a 1.5 point favorite over Indiana. Is that what you do make it?
Yes. I'll tell you this: if they were playing this week if they got in playing at Oklahoma, it would have opened just below 7. They'd have bet it over 7. Yeah. I agree with that. And that team didn't make it in the bracket. So looking at it from a odds maker's perspective or a sports betting perspective, I do think it's wrong that Notre Dame was left out of the bracket for a lot of reasons. Anyway, at VSiN, we're putting together the top 100 betting moments of 2025. And, that's obviously a lot, but we got a lot of people contributing. And one of them on the list is going to be what happened in Vegas Sunday when Pete Carroll and the Raiders kicked a field goal as time expired to beat the 7.5 point number against the Broncos. I put that one on the list. It was, but I hear people crying about, Charlie's been quoting Portnoy a lot today, but I mean, how you going to control what the coach you bet against? I mean, and when did it become where you're just supposed to quit on your team? I mean, right. I don't know, but you want to get pissed at a coach. I know this was on a Friday night. South Florida is laying 27 against Charlotte. They score with 43 seconds. They no huddling up 21 so they could get in. Yeah. They went tempo to beat the spread. I mean, that's a James Franklin type of move. You can't. The team that's losing is supposed to try and win, try and score.
Okay,
no matter how futile it is.
But if it's one play, and we're talking about one play, and there is a 2-score gap, okay, you cannot win the game.
Right? Don't
most teams try to score a touchdown rather than a field goal? If they throw one to the end zone,
I've seen both.
Kick a field goal with time as time expires.
Yeah, not as time expired, but when they had no chance to get an onside kick in a play, but the second to last play.
Well,
yes,
I think there's a difference between 10 seconds.
Put it on one score, Charlie. What's your chances of scoring a Hail Mary or a field goal?
But the clock is on zero after the play.
So it doesn't matter. So guess what?
Carroll.
If it only matters in covering the spread, I want to cover the spread for the guys that bet me. And not the ones that bet against me.
Then you got an NFL coach just paying attention to point spread. They're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
This guy went no huddle. The new Auburn coach went no huddle. Okay, up 21.
If you're doing that and you're saying, hey, we got to play it all out. So one play. It looks screwy.
You bet against the coach? You going to dictate what the opposing coach is going to do?
I am impartial on this. I didn't have any money on that game. I just watched.
Plus 650, plus 7.5. Thank you very much. Kick it away, Petey. So,
didn't it go over the total on that play?
I will say.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys heard.
Put it on the list twice, Matty.
Pete Carroll had a decent explanation for what happened there. He said he thought they called timeout with 8 seconds left, and he was arguing with the official that they should have put 3 seconds back on the clock, and there should have been 8 seconds. And his plan was to kick the field goal, then onside kick it. Who knows? Maybe you have 1 second left. That's a decent explanation. I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think what Jimmy said about the South Florida situation was actually worse. where you got a coach who's obviously trying to cover a number there, right?
If you had Denver tickets, you can't dictate what the opposing coach is doing, okay? But the real beef is when they threw the flag because they have no chance of getting another playoff.
Right.
When they got to delay a game. I'm not saying it wasn't deserving, but the game was over. They were not getting another playoff.
Right.
Matt, real quick, anything on Arizona, Alabama, Kentucky, Indiana, Arkansas, Texas Tech? Got some pretty good games, college basketball on Saturday.
I actually have not thought that far ahead, so I can't say. I was looking at today's schedule, and Iowa State's a big favorite over Iowa, but priced a little bit higher than I wanted to lay. I can only play the favorite in that game based off what I've seen from the Cyclones in the past two games. What were the two matchups on Saturday you just mentioned?
Oh, you got Arizona. We're projected to be very close line, maybe one either way in Tuscaloosa. Arkansas and Texas Tech are playing neutral site in Dallas. And Kentucky, whose best win might be Nicholls State, is at home against Indiana.
Oh, wow. You know what? I don't know the Kentucky injury situation. If they're going to get any guys back for that game or what's going on. But Kentucky is such a mess right now. I could not bet the Wildcats. And I was just talking about that with someone yesterday. That's the only college basketball future I bet that I feel really bad about. That's trash right now. Kentucky's got no shot. I think 6-4, and all 6 wins been against cupcakes, and all 4 losses were when they had to step up and play legitimate competition. I'm not going to be on Kentucky in that game. I mean, if the Wildcats finally show up and get it together, great. But I haven't seen any indication of that so far, so not going to be on that side. Alabama's a tough team to predict here because the Tide, they don't have much scoring inside. They don't have a lot of rim protection. They just don't have much beef inside, and Arizona could eat them up around the rim. And if Alabama's not hot from 3, they go cold. They get beat by anybody. But one thing, I think a lot of people are making way too much about that Arizona win at UConn a couple weeks ago because Terrace Reed was out for UConn. He's their leading scorer and rebounder, and they're a donut, in the middle without Terrace Reed. They get a huge hole. And that Koa Pete and the Wildcats took advantage of that because UConn's best big man was out. So I don't think Arizona might not be all they're cracked up to be by a lot of people right now. I know, the win against UCLA, big deal. That doesn't look that impressive. UConn misses.
Got to run, Matt.
What's up?
Got to run, brother. We're past time. We got to run. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you next week. All right. Yes, indeed. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, 480-1000. Winter is the best possible time to take advantage of overstocked AC systems that need to be moved before the new year. Total Maintenance is offering $5,500 off select systems, as well as steep discounts of the ductwork you have to put off replacing that 30 years old. Free evaluations of your system to find out exact recommendations and options. Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Sammy's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let Sammy's help you out here at the holidays, Jimmy.
Yeah, holidays, man. Rotisserie turkeys, fried turkeys, all the sides. The giblet gravy is off the charts. I mean, get your order in 48 hours in advance. Pick up all day on Christmas Eve.
Tomorrow we will
crawfish
be at,
over here now.
Crawfish, that's right. We're already early.
Weekdays 5 p.m., weekends starting at noon.
Thanks to Sammy's here on Highland for being our host today. Tomorrow we are at Rufino's, back at our regular times at 11 a.m. Hope that you make it in your plans to be with us. For all of us here at Sammy's, Jordan back in the studio. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.